Gregor,
Here.
Loxo,
Here.
Funkela,
Here.
Jofs,
Here.
Warshik.
Here. All right. I think the Pledge of Allegiance, we tried that the last time. I'm not sure if anyone has a strong desire to try that again, using the flag behind Becky, but I think with that, we'll move on to the consent agenda, which is listed as item number 4 on the agenda. It includes the approval of the indicated items that are marked with asterisks. And as customary practice, just requesting, does anybody have any particular items that are within any one of these consent agenda items that they'd like to have pulled out for further discussion? Seeing none, then would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Been moved. Is there support?
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion on the consent agenda items? Seeing none, will the city administrator please read the roll call?
Gregor,
Yes.
Loxo,
Yes.
Funkela,
Yes.
Jofs,
Yes.
Warshik.
Aye.
The motion carries. So our consent agenda is adopted. Let's see, moving to appearances in a public forum. I'm not sure. Let's see, I know Mary Malari's on there and Terry Hartica.
Yep, Terry is from Channel 2, Mary is there, and then Lance Johnson from the Chamber is here as well.
Okay. Yeah, I guess at this point in time in the agenda, if anyone wishes to speak, I think, I'm not sure how Becky would know that you wanted to speak, since it's non-visual. Do you have any suggestions, city administrator, if someone wanted to speak?
They can submit their request to speak through the raise hand option.
Oh, okay. And no requests been turned in so far, right?
No.
Okay. Then we'd move on to reports from staff members. Let's see. I guess we could start with the city administrator. Do you have a staff report to make?
Yes. So it's been brought to my attention that several other Iron Range cities have passed a constitutional city resolution. I know that it's been brought up to several councilors as well. And I did speak with them, but I thought I would also let the general public know that if such a resolution was to pass and the state then revoked all state aid or bonding money, the city's tax increase would be approximately 70% to residents. So that would be a 70% increase in your property taxes. Additionally, we have $8.2 million of bonding money out there, and so that is a significant increase to utility bills as well. So those are the types of issues we're facing when we're dealing with COVID-19 and all these types of things in front of us. But I just wanted to let everyone know that those are the rough numbers for what would happen if we were to lose any of our state aid. The city's been under a spending freeze for about the past month, so that means that projects that weren't already in motion have been put on hold. And then we also have moved back curbside pickup, and that has been pushed back to a later date, which will be announced in the East Range Shopper. And that is what I know today.
Very good. And City Administrator, we did discuss that our federal CARES money is still held up in the legislature, and based on what Brian was saying, if the special session in fact goes to June 12th, that could result in some per capita payments of federal funds to us. Am I understanding that correct?
That would be correct. Yep, it would be, whatever the legislature decides to be at those reimbursement levels.
Yep. Okay, and so that concludes your report?
Yes.
Let's see. Let's move to Paula. Do you want to give the library report?
Okay.
Okay, there we go. I think you need to.
Audio.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, did that work?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for your patience with that. Last month I said that this month I would have more information about these summer reading programs, and I am here today with that information. The theme for this summer's reading programs for children and teens is Dig Deeper, Read, Investigate, Discover. And the reading programs for children and teens both started yesterday. To date, we have 10 children and 5 teens signed up. The programs will run through July 31st, and participants can sign up at any time throughout the program. And because they're not able to offer the Kids Stuff events this summer, Arrowhead Library System is providing some additional funding to the summer reading programs, and that means that we are going to have a fun variety of extra events for children and teens. And the first, of course, is reading. And summer readers can borrow books, as well as, of course, movies and other library items through the Aurora Public Library's no-contact door drop service. They can request items online by calling us or by asking us to fill a grab-and-go bag of books for them. And through reading, they can earn prizes if they reach certain reading goals, and also fundraise some money for the Aurora Pine Grove Park Splash Pad project, as well as for an animal shelter. Secondly, we are offering Take and Make craft projects. Children can pick up a bag with directions and supplies for a different bag craft each week, and we'll have monthly Take and Make craft bags for the teens. Starting next week, there's also going to be a weekly hidden picture somewhere outdoors in Aurora. And children and teens can call or email to tell us where they found the picture, to have their name entered in a drawing to win the book or the dinosaur that's pictured. There are also going to be 4 scavenger hunts throughout the summer with more prize drawings for summer readers who return those completed scavenger hunt sheets. And we'll share additional information about possible science, art, or writing projects with program participants. So summer readers can sign up by calling or emailing the library with their names and the grade that they will start in the fall, or their age if they are a preschooler. And I thank you very much.
Thank you. I assume counselors and city staff are excluded from winning the hidden picture prize, or what?
Well, unless you're under 17 years old or 18 years old, I'm afraid you are.
I think most of us are slightly over that. So, okay, thank you for the report. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. Did I see Chief Sewer on at some point or not?
Nope, the only other staff member that is on is City Attorney Mike Carney.
All right. Mike, do you have a city attorney's report?
Just what's on the agenda, Mayor.
All right. Thank you for that. If those are complete, I think we'll move to reports from counselors. And just looking around, Counselor Honkala?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. I just like to say, as I was driving and walking around our town, I enjoyed looking at various individuals' gardening, landscaping projects. It really makes our town inviting. And some of those residents have little gems hidden, like bikes and other reclaimed objects. So that's kind of fun as well. Spruce Up Aurora is doing really great at beautifying our city. And it's my understanding that Spruce Up Aurora welcomes volunteers to help maintain those flowers and gardens. So keep that in mind. And a big thank you to Paula for all the efforts and the staff's efforts for putting up this really exciting summer program. 2 of those 10 kids are my kids, so we do appreciate it. We participated for years and will continue to do so. Just thank the East Range Police Department and area EMS and fire department for all they've done and all the calls they've taken. And I just wanted to say Barrett and I have rode the trails, the ATV trails, and walked some of the walking trails. And the trails look nice. They're all pretty clean. And if residents and citizens feel comfortable, bring a bag with and pick up trash as you feel comfortable. It's really important that we build community pride at this point. I mean, it's pretty apparent that our residents and the community is unsettled by the events of COVID-19 and the pretty serious protests that are taking place right now. And it's this time that it's just as important as any time that we respect one another and build each other up to make this valuable community in which we live. And I'm proud to be a part of this community. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilor Waxaw, any comments?
Yeah, I'd just like to mention construction season is in full swing here. Been receiving quite a few zoning and even more residential improvement permits. I'd just like to thank the citizens that took the time to get the proper permits. And we did have one public hearing for a variance last month, and we have another one coming up at the end of this month. I guess that's it.
Very good. Thank you, Councilor. Let's see, Councilor Warshak.
Actually, the only thing I would like to talk about a little bit is budgets, and I haven't really talked to Becky too much about it, but I really am uncomfortable with where we're at or where we may be going or whatever, just with what's going on with COVID and whatever. And I'd almost like to suggest we have a special meeting just to talk about budgets a little bit and get Becky's perspective on where we might be and you know, I don't know where we're at with tax revenues coming in, Becky. I haven't heard an update on that, but I guess I would really like to see a special budget meeting, you know, and then we can start talking about our 2021 budget even, you know.
Sounds good.
And the only other thing, there's summer kids on, Becky. I think I've seen some around. Yeah.
Yep, the first team of summer kids started this week. They got both a safety briefing and a COVID-19 briefing from staff, and they're doing a great job.
Yeah, good. Thank you. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Joff?
I guess there's a few things that I really want to, I would like to ask Administrator Lamia to just kind of get together a list of things that we have tabled over the last year. I'm sorry, Becky, I know that that's going to be work for you. I'm seeing people driving around town and I think, gosh, that's something that we tabled. We should really get these people the answer that they're looking for, whether we give them the answer they want or not, that's a whole different discussion. But so that's something that I would like to see get done. To echo what Councilor Honkla said, the flowers are looking great. Spruce Up Aurora Committee is doing a great job. This is my favorite time of year because I love it when the city goes out and they actually sweep the sidewalks and the streets. It's literally one of my favorite times. And then all the lawns being mowed. So again, the city is looking beautiful. The streets are looking great. So keep up the good work there. And that's it, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor. With the Mayor's report, and I think this is a matter near and dear to Councilor Warshak's heart, just want to celebrate and congratulate the Canadian National Railway for finally doing some clearing of their drainage ditches. And I know we had talking to Congressman Stauber's office, and I think Becky had some other contacts with the Canadian National folks, and to the best of my knowledge, they've done remarkable work trying to alleviate some of the drainage problems in our southeastern part of the city. So certainly saw evidence of a lot of trucks, and I hope they did good work. Just kudos and thanks to the COVID committee that continues to navigate these changing waters so well and keep us informed. I think it's been from the very start a distinguishing characteristic of the East Range communities to have the COVID committee actively, weekly, kind of reviewing the situation and trying to make adjustments. And just some updates. I was able to actually have a face-to-face, of course, with masks and distancing, with Senator Klobuchar at a nursing home in Hibbing, where a lot of the senior issues were discussed that she was championing. And it was just a good occasion to just recognize the sort of additional burdens, risks, and sometimes diminished means, both healthcare and financially, of the seniors that are in our community, and a significant part of it. And one thing we came to a consensus: we got a resilient group of seniors here. They've been conditioned by years of ups and downs in the steel industry, and it was nice to kind of celebrate that fact, at the same time recognizing that additional resources have to be directed that way. On the East Range Joint Powers Board, I don't know. I think since our last meeting, we completed a COVID emergency relief grant program there, under which 8 $2,500 grants were given to local businesses on the East Range, and 6 of the beneficiaries of that were Aurora businesses, each of which therefore got $2,500. So that was nice to be able to see the initiative of businesses in the community going after that and getting awarded there. Just a little update: the Costin Group that we approved for some lobbying efforts on St. James Pit hydrology work, the East Range Joint Powers Board approved the payment of that, for that contract out of the East Range Water Project Group. And other than that, a lot of work going into the HRA's development agreement relative to the old main building proposed project. So I think Attorney Carney can sympathize particularly with that, and we're doing things there. So echo the comments, and kudos to the first line responders and the police department, and celebrate that our community is weathering this challenging time seemingly very well, with flowers and everything. So, all right, with those remarks, I'm just wondering, I believe Lance Johnson is here from the Chamber of Commerce, probably in relation to agenda item 17.2. And with the council's approval, I was wondering if we couldn't perhaps address 17.2 at this point before we get into old business. Is there any objection to doing that? All right. Let's see. On 17.2, then, in our packet, we've got a number of that have been submitted by the restaurant and bar owners, or a number of them anyway, in town, and everybody's had a chance to review those. City Administrator, do you want to kind of give us an update on the essence of what's there?
Yep. So the area restaurants and bars got together and submitted a letter regarding their requests for the city, and in addition to the supplemental information that was in your packet, I also kind of last minute today finished up a conversation with the St. Louis County traffic engineer, Vic Lund. He discussed that they would not be requiring permits for sidewalk passage or sidewalk seating. However, bars and restaurants do need to have a 4-foot foot traffic pathway, and that would be required by St. Louis County. So any tables, chairs, picnic tables, anything on the sidewalk would have to leave at least 4 feet for passage of walkers and bikers. Anything on the street itself, Main Street is a county highway, so anything on Main Street itself will require a permit, right-of-way permit from St. Louis County. Now, when I spoke to Vic, he stated that the city should be the one applying for that permit, not the businesses. And then the city could create a lease or other type of legal agreement with the business to allow them to use that permit temporarily.
Yeah, I think in reference to the intrusion into the county roadway or right-of-way, I don't know how many saw, but the Northspan group, that's the Economic Development Advisors for the East Range Joint Powers Group, circulated a plan that the city of Duluth had for what they call parklets that are basically placed into the parking space in front of and adjacent to particular businesses, and allowing that parking space area to be used for tables, benches, or somehow based on some minimal improvements, I think, of a platform that's level with the curb so that no one's tripping or things like that. And let's see, Councilor Honka, you attended a meeting, right, of the business owners or some of the bar and restaurant owners?
That's correct. I did, Doug. And I got some input from each of the businesses, and each business would benefit from different things. There's not one cap that you could put on each of their problems. So there's several things that I would like to see done. I don't know if it's an agreement with the council, but I would like to see some of this list in our packet done, as well as I've brainstormed a few other ideas. I don't know if you'd like me to share them now or just wait till the item comes up.
Well, I think the item's present, so...
Well, then here I'll share all my thoughts then, Doug. Well, I would like today to make a motion to help our businesses, and that could be in the means of to waive that liquor license cost, to allow businesses to serve food and alcohol in approved outdoor areas with the appropriate COVID plan in place, and licenses and insurance and what other legalities there may be. I'd like to see us as a city use community business development funds to purchase picnic tables. Now, I'm told by Public Works the city is in need of picnic tables, and if the city were to purchase these tables and make them available to these businesses during this time, that would be beneficial. Now, typically, a rectangle picnic table isn't good for food service. It's very difficult to get in and out of. We know that, trying to get our foot up and over it. But we could move towards I don't know if you can see this. So I'll put it up a little bit. See this?
Yeah.
It's a round picnic table, and you can get in. The access would be a bit easier for myself and any older folks that can't get their leg up and over the table chair, you know. It is one piece of equipment, so we wouldn't have to worry about someone taking off with the chairs versus like a patio set or something of the like. These things could be moved around in our community. We could use them for Celebrate Aurora, Pumpkin Fest, that sort of thing, after this pandemic is over. I'd like to, I know this is so hard to express because I don't know if it's possible for our city to do this, but could we give business development money to struggling businesses for the purchase of equipment that would help them assist their business and to provide outdoor or takeout food service? I mean, that's just my thought. How can we help each of these businesses? As I said, not one cap will solve each problem. So if we assist a business in providing, say, coolants or an ability to make more ice, that would help one business, and that equipment, if we use just a broad term equipment, perhaps then another establishment would use it to buy outdoor furniture to place next to a side street. I don't know. Brainstorming in the list of things they presented to us in our packet. That's my thoughts on it.
Certainly appreciate, it doesn't appear there's a definite path forward. Attorney Carney, I assume we have some limitations legally of how we can assist private businesses.
That's correct, Mayor. If the city was interested and they had the capital resources, looking at the picnic tables, it sounds like they could assist in that way, and they'd remain the property of the city after things get back to somewhat normal, and could be relocated other parts of the city. I haven't checked really about whatever the development for loans or grants, they have to follow whatever their guidelines are. And, I haven't specifically looked at those for business development or improvement when they do the storefront loans or whatever they're loaning or granting money to. They'd have to follow their own guidelines that have been previously established.
Well, I understand we do have some business development money, so there's something with which we could be working. I gave a Zoom notice to our chamber president, Lance Johnson, and Lance, do you want to dive into the discussion at all?
Sure. At this point, I mean, I haven't personally been contacted about any of these individual items, but I guess I'd be all for whatever can be done to help these, especially the restaurant and service industry businesses. But I don't have any specific requests that have come to the chamber from any of these businesses.
Is the chamber going to meet at any time in the near future where they could toss around some recommendations to us or something like that? Or
yeah, with the COVID situation, the meetings have grown to a halt, but that might be something we try and do, is put together a special meeting, especially if there's some folks that have specific items they'd like to discuss. We certainly could do that.
Council Warshak, any wisdom to
Well, I agree that I'm hoping we can help our bars and restaurants as much as we can. And I don't know, Lance, does the chamber actually have funds too that they could partner up with the city and maybe help a little bit? Or
let's put it this way: our actual member list with COVID going on right when dues came out, we've got about 4 active members right now.
That's right. Yeah.
So
okay.
There are some funds. I mean, we'd definitely be willing to look at whatever we can do to help as well.
So I think we need to do whatever we can and move as fast as we can. I guess I sure would love to see a plan, on how we're going to do it. Because with what I believe what Becky said, I'm almost looking like hopefully we could close streets or something because I don't think to leave a 4-foot path on the sidewalk. I don't think we have that much room, to make it worth putting any tables out on the sidewalk. So maybe we could close some streets or whatever, And I'm just saying, whatever we do, we need to be fair to all of our businesses or whatever, So. But I agree that we should help them however we can,
Yeah, myself, I'm trying to envision for each one of these facilities where they're thinking about providing the outside dining or beverage experiences. It wasn't specified at all in the materials we got from them. And like Councilor Warshak just pointed out, I don't know what the width of the sidewalk areas are.
10 feet on Main Street.
How much?
10 feet on Main Street.
10 feet, all right. So we have 6 feet to work with, basically, or the owners would. And as far as the sidewalk areas, that's something the city could give permission to be utilized in front of each business? Is that?
Yep, so the city could grant permission. However, the business owners that serve liquor will need to submit a plan to the city. They will also need to submit proof of insurance to the city. their outdoor service liability, and then they'll also need to submit a new, they have to submit a plot of the area the liquor will be served in to the state of Minnesota for their liquor license, so they need to submit that as well.
So their liquor premises, the definition of that will actually have to be amended. All right.
Correct.
I guess that should go around the rest. Councilor Loxo, thoughts?
Well, I'm in agreement with Councilor Warshik. We need to help these businesses out any way we can. They've been taking a hit since the start of this thing, and they're really struggling. So anything we can do, I'm sure will be appreciated.
Councilor Joffs?
I too am in agreement with that. We do need to help them. We just need to make sure that, we do it in the right, correct way, submitting plans that are required by the state. That is very important. But again, I would like to see our businesses back and working. And quite truthfully, I would love to see our businesses serving out on the sidewalks. It just would give it a whole new, fresh look, if you will, in Aurora. Granted, we have to do it this way, but there's just something about going down to, well, not the cities, but going down to the cities right now, I wouldn't want to do it and sit on the sidewalk, but there's just something about sitting outside and watching the traffic go by and seeing the people out and about. So I just think it would bring a fresh ambiance to the city.
So, just to kind of summarize a little bit, we've talked about city purchases of picnic tables that could be, I suppose, under proper documentation made available to individual owners, right? We've talked about the ability to permit sidewalk area expansion subject to sort of regulatory approval from the licensing authorities. I don't think we're thus far figured out a way to address Councilor Uncle's indication of like a monetary grant to a particular business. But we did talk about the ability to the city to either waive or defer liquor license fees, which when I did a little bit of math collectively for these licensees this time come up to about $2,025. I don't know. Yes.
Lance would like to make a statement as well.
Oh.
I just, when I was speaking earlier, I forgot to mention, there's a lot of regional, state, and federal programs that are out there as well. And, with a small town, there's limited resources there, right? So from the chamber, I've tried to send out notices with any information I get here over the past couple of months of different programs. And Doug, you've been great at getting me information when you get it, but there's a lot of options out there for businesses that with funding that comes from outside of our city that should really be explored. There's a lot of options out there. You've got to get out and apply for those items. So if anybody is seeing this and hasn't got an email from me, I put together the best list I could. If you respond to the chamber Facebook page or email address, we'll add you to that email list. But there are a lot of programs out there that can get some funds from outside of a small local town too. So.
Lance, now I'm just thinking, there's businesses out there that may not know how to go about in doing that. Is that something that you'd be willing to help some of these owners explore? I mean, I'm just thinking of maybe somebody that's not computer savvy, or the whole thought of it is very daunting. For us in our computer world, it's fine, but then you've got some people that might not be savvy that way.
Right. And I've included that in the emails that I've sent out. I'm by no means an expert on all these programs, and they do get complex, but if anybody reaches out to me, I'll do my best to help them or get them in touch with somebody that can get them the detailed information they need, or if they need assistance with electronic applications or things like that, I'll do my best to help out anybody who needs the help.
Okay, thank you.
Another resource is the North Span, which I mentioned earlier in relation to the East Range Joint Powers Board. I think Lance has had some experience, and some of the owners who applied for the grants there are familiar with, they can talk to the staff at North Span, indicating they're one of these member communities of the East Range Joint Powers Board, and those folks really are keeping their fingers on the pulse of what kind of programs are out there, and can walk them through to deal with Councillor Joff's point that some people are not as adept at dealing with the online application things. But my impression is that North Span, under its contract with the East Range Joint Powers Board, can step forward and help the individual owners on that. So if somebody's listening to this, by all means, exhaust whatever Lance can direct them to, but if there's personal assistance and counseling that's needed, that North Span group out of Duluth, I think their contact information is on the East Range Joint Powers Board site. Lance has it. I've got information, and that'd be another avenue there. I knew this was going to be a discussion type item, so I think I've got some ideas, and Councilor Honkala's got the outlines of a motion, right? I'm just wondering.
As attorney, I would break them down into more single specific items. I think it would be cleaner to address and vote on.
All right. Well, maybe we could address, first of all, the liquor license fees. Seems to me that's the most objective category of relief or assistance. I know we've given some relief on delinquent charges for our utility bills and interest on those. Does anyone have a motion they'd like to make relative to the liquor license fee obligations that are due?
I'd like to make a motion that we waive the, would it be in-house, Becky, liquor license?
You can choose. There's there's club on sale, which would be like the American Legion. There's on sale liquors, which would be like the Bar, Rudy's, the Copper Nickel, and then there's Sunday liquor licenses too. So, and one point before you make a motion, I would like to know if you want to refund previous fees or upcoming fees. So when we make the check out, we know exactly what those are for.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Becky, in your financials, I think we had, what was it, $1,300 and some dollars come in for license fees already.
Yep.
Well, I would like to waive the entire fee for the year, for 1 year.
Okay, so the
All
upcoming
but off sale. So all of those liquor license except for off sale. Because it's my understanding they can still, or have been, selling off sale liquor in our town. Is that correct?
correct. So would you like the fees waived from July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021? Because it's a split year.
Yes. Okay.
The fees that have already been paid, were those paid in advance for that period of time?
Yes.
Would it need to run on that date exactly, or could we start it in March when the pandemic started?
You could prorate it, but then I would need an end date as to when you would like the check to end.
I think those businesses probably paid already up until June 30th of this year.
Yep, and all of them have paid for July 1st through June 30th of next year as well.
Yeah, I'd be in favor of refunding them that money.
For July 1st through June 30th of next year?
Yep.
And city attorney, we have the authority to do that?
You set the fees, so if you're charging no fee for that time period.
There's no insurance liabilities or anything on our behalf, correct? On our side, we don't have to worry about anything.
They would still be, the license would still be subject to them. I think the prior is that their real estate taxes are current and that they provide proper liquor liability insurance. I would add that in if that's normally what's happened in the past.
Okay. So they'd still be eligible, if they're otherwise eligible, they'd still be getting a license just without having to pay the fee, or in the case where they paid it, to have it refunded, right?
Correct.
Right, so they'd still submit the application with all the requirements. The fee would just be $0.
Correct.
Councilor Huckle, is that consistent with your motion's objective?
That's my motion. Thank you.
All right. Is there support for that?
I'll support.
It's been moved and supported. Any further discussion on that particular motion? Seeing none, will the city administrator read the roll call?
Gregor?
Yes.
Loxo?
Yes.
Bunkala?
Yes.
Jofs?
Yes.
Rorschach?
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously. Now, okay, I'm going to just take a stab at one other item that you were talking about, Councilor Akala, the picnic tables. We don't have the benefit of Public Works Director's input, I guess, at this point in time. City Administrator, is it your impression that if picnic tables were purchased, it would be filling some kind of a need down the road for the city?
The city could utilize them for events, as Councilor Honkala stated. We could use it for 4th of July activities, Pumpkin Fest. They could be placed at the community center for large events, those types of things.
Do we know or have any estimate of how many of these tables might be wanted by any of these bar and restaurant owners for use? Or would we just pick a number like 6 or something and purchase them and first come, first serve? Or how would...
Well, I think it would be in our best interest to reach out to the businesses to determine which want to have outdoor seating, because not all the businesses expressed an interest in doing that. So perhaps we should ask them and then see how many tables they would need to accommodate the people that they think they might serve during this time. Not all people will want to eat outside. It could be. But before we determine whether or not to purchase picnic tables, could I make a motion that we allow businesses to serve in outdoor, appropriate, city-approved outdoor areas?
To do what with the outdoor areas? I'm sorry.
I'd like to make a motion to allow businesses to serve in approved, appropriate outdoor areas. Why buy a picnic table if we haven't made a motion to allow them to serve in outdoor areas?
Right.
It could put out their own seating as long as they complied with the rules and regulations, correct?
Right. So all we'd be doing, this would be a motion to grant the city's authorization to utilize those portions of the sidewalk other than the 4-foot area. And then the businesses would have to take that authorization, right, and get their premises definition, their insurance coverage, and other things adjusted accordingly, right?
Yes. Yep, appropriate licensure, COVID plan, insurance, etc.
All right, so I'll take that as a motion by Councilor
Motion.
That the city authorizes the licensed premises owners to extend their businesses out into the sidewalk areas adjacent to their facilities, keeping at least, what was it, a 4-foot? 4-foot wide clear passage for public going by there. Is that an accurate statement, your motion, Councilor Honkala?
Yes, thank you.
All right, is there support for that?
I'll support that.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Seeing none, the city administrator read the roll call.
Gregor,
Yes.
Loxo,
Yes.
Conkla,
Yes.
Jofs,
Yes.
Rorschach.
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes unanimously.
What are you laughing at?
Well, your wit is always welcome. Okay, so I'm wondering, it strikes me that there are some follow-up actions here, and I'm wondering if the council would, I talked briefly with Councilor Harkla about designating her as essentially as a special liaison to these business owners to try to work with them to refine their requests a little bit more. And I'm not quite sure, I don't think I have the authority unilaterally to appoint such a liaison, but I'd certainly make a motion that Councilor Hakala be authorized and empowered by us to act as a liaison to these owners to try to refine, help them refine a little bit more their requests for some of the other items that they were looking for. Is there support for a motion like that?
I'll support that. Then are you going to ask for discussion?
Yes.
And yeah, so I agree. And Talisha's already started, so that's great. And I would like to see the COVID committee somehow, or at least Tim and Becky involved somewhat too, just to make sure it is covering all the COVID stuff and the safety, you know. So, but I think it's a good idea. Talisha would be a good person to go in between, you know. So.
Well, I regard that as a friendly amendment, and if you.
Well, not. I guess not really. It's just that is just discussion. So yeah, no, she would. Yeah, she would kind of be a city liaison or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, but also with the suggestion that in addition to contacting business owners, work with Becky and Chief Solis, right?
Yeah, we've had this COVID committee, and they're doing a great job, and I think they're probably up on it more than the rest of us, you know. So I do think they need to be involved yet, you know. So as we move forward, you know, I don't want it to slow anything down as far as, you know, helping these businesses get going, but I don't think it will, you know.
Is there further discussion, or the motion is to have Talisha act as that special liaison? It's been supported. Seeing no further discussion, City Administrator, would you take a roll call vote?
Gregor,
Yes.
Loxo,
Yes.
Conkla,
Yes, and I would accept the appointment.
Very good.
Jofs,
And I was just going to say yes if Talisha accepts it, but I guess my vote counts now.
Rorschach.
Aye.
All right, the motion passes unanimously. Are there any other items related to this agenda item now at the moment to talk? Lance, any further comments to add in? Or?
No, none for me.
All right, good.
I just got one more question. I'm sorry. We were on the topic of picnic tables, and I think, and we're all in agreement that we want to help these businesses as sooner than later. And so for those businesses that want outdoor seating, when I bring it to them, has the council approved the purchase of picnic tables, or is that something that they would do in the future? And if so, how soon can we do that?
Well, personally, we need to know kind of the number and have identified a product so we have a cost. So when we make essentially an allocation from our business reserves to be able to pay for it, we've got something specific.
Becky, how much do we have in the business development? And is that proper use of that?
The business development has approximately $38,000 in it. It was earmarked specifically for that. The earmarks can be appointed or remotioned by the council at any time, so you can use that money for anything you feel necessary.
I think it's, okay, go ahead.
So my next question is, Talisha, I saw you had the print and roughly what Forest Service kind of builds their own, so I haven't bought a picnic table in a long time, but what's a picnic table like that cost? And could we do to move things along and not to exceed amount or whatever, so.
I think that'd be good to do a motion not to exceed. I think first, the most important thing to let the city know is that these picnic tables are made out of metal and not wood. And metal is easier to sit on. You're not getting splinters. They have little.
No, the Forest Service has wood and we don't splinter.
Well, I've got a few splinters.
I just want to add, you might want to check on seeing how soon you can get these tables. Because they're
I
not
was
going
going to say that, yeah.
They're not going to do any good if you get them in September.
Right.
Well,
I'll check on it tonight.
Do you have some kind of a cost estimate on
They're approximately $1,000.
each?
Yes.
All right. So we'd be looking at, trying to put together, we'd be looking at a motion to approve, subject to the requests that come in, purchase of up to 6 picnic tables for a total amount not to exceed $6,000. Does that seem consistent with moving ahead?
Could we go 10 tables? Not to exceed that amount. I mean, and that way we could accommodate perhaps the Hive and Rudy's. Maybe Megan would want one, and then the bar. I'm not sure. That's only a third of the budget.
Is there a practical limit, city administrator, to how many we need?
I'm not entirely sure. I haven't had a chance to discuss this with the Public Works Director yet. The other concern you would have is storage of them. So you might, if I can make a recommendation to have the not to exceed limit as $10,000, and then to discuss the limit with the Public Works Director.
So we'd be kind of merging the requests with the needs of the city, right?
Correct.
And we do have more than enough in our business development fund to be able to provide those monies for that, right? So, let's see, Councilor Hakala, do you want to make a motion now? Is that, we discussed it kind of, that the council authorized the expenditures up to $10,000 for purchase of picnic tables, roughly the construction and configuration that you proposed. With the actual numbers to be determined by consultation with Public Works Director and the business owners, right?
Yes, and just to clarify, these picnic tables will remain the property of Aurora.
Right. Is there support for that motion?
I'll support.
Movement supported. Further discussion?
So just further discussion, and I'm all in favor of it, but JL brought up a good point. Are we going to get them even if we can't get them till January? Should we put a date on if we can't get them by, I mean, do we still, even though the city does need tables, but
I suppose the other side of that unpredictable coin is how long perhaps will the bars and restaurants be unable to serve within the premises. But I'd say something like July 31st. If we don't have them by then, they've lost most of the summer, right?
that, I don't know. What do you think, Talisha?
This is a great conversation, and I'm glad this is taking this turn, because if we put the spotlight back on the businesses, these are the things that they're trying to determine right now, if they should go forth and buy all this equipment and these tables, and then possibly in 2 weeks, Walls will turn around the order and they can serve in their bar again. Or worst case scenario, they buy the tables and they don't get them in time to save their businesses. Whereas the city's in a unique position where we need these picnic tables, correct, Becky? I was told by public these tables.
picnic tables need, they could be used for
Yeah, I was gonna say.
events, yeah.
Well, they won't go wasted. They won't sit in a shed somewhere unused. And so I think that if we can't get them by August 1st or the end of July, yeah, it won't help our businesses. But if we go ahead and try to facilitate the order of them and push it along with the idea that we're going to get it done, I'd like to see that done for our businesses so they don't have to go out and go through the turmoil and decide whether or not they should order this equipment. We should just order it and it'll be an asset for our community.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sure the usually efficient purchasing department will exert every avenue open to try and get them as fast as possible, but I think that would be contingent upon your reporting back as to, how many we should be buying and the particular type so that the city can explore whether we can get them by the end of July, right? So,
Correct, yep.
Okay, I believe we have a motion on the floor that's been moved and seconded. Seeing no further discussion, could we take a roll call vote?
Gregor?
Yes.
Loxo?
Yes.
Konkala?
Yes.
Jofs?
Yes.
Rorschach?
Yes.
Very good. The motion passes unanimously. I commend everyone for, it's an item that needed discussion. It's certainly timely, and I think thanks particularly to Councillor Honkala for coming up with some concrete suggestions of actions we could take. Hopefully, the discussion and the support actions will trigger some of these bar and restaurant owners to talk over with Lance about other funding options. And hopefully we've done something good for the business. So, any further discussion on 17.2? If not, Lance, you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting. But I just let everybody present. All right.
It didn't take him long to leave.
Pardon?
I said it didn't take him long to leave.
No, it's finger on the exit trigger there. So, all right, getting back to our agenda under 16, old business 16.1, the Aurora Housing and Redevelopment Authority. There was a considerable ream of materials passed along to everyone. I assume somehow you got a chance to review that. We have, let's see. Know where I put all these. All right, City Administrator, do you want to just bring us back the focus on this while I look at my copies of the materials?
Sure. So the previous discussion from the city council was surrounding the two motions or the two resolutions in front of you. Historically, the HRA has been listed as an independent organization. However, the city has paid for a number of items for the HRA. So it was suggested and discussed that a clarification of that working relationship should be brought up and should be discussed with the city council. I believe the city attorney has stated that the city council can motion however they would so choose for these resolutions. There was a letter submitted by the chair of the HRA along with the state statutes, which were included in your packet. Additionally, I was requested to do some research regarding surrounding cities of our similar population and what they did. I took the list from the League of Minnesota Cities of similar population cities, and none of them had an HRA. They all had EDAs. In the packet, I also included information with cities who did have HRAs, and those cities were considerably larger than the city of Aurora. Additionally, a majority of them received HUD funding because they had either senior or low-income housing developments that they were managing. They also included, some of them had tax levies, some of them did not have levies, and most of them also had EDAs. The ones that didn't have EDAs in that packet of information I provided to you, the county was the EDA for that particular county. So I'd be open to any questions anyone had or any other comments.
One question I had was, I've heard of economic development authorities. I've obviously heard of HRA. By reading through that statute, it was an incredible educational experience as far as I'm concerned about learning what powers are given to an HRA. What functional differences does it make to a city to have an EDA or an HRA?
In my discussion with other administrators and other cities, so the difference is EDA is less management of housing focused. So you can grant HRA powers to the EDA. So you can, have them sign contracts, they can have their own bank accounts, they can do all of that. Those powers can be assigned to an EDA. However, EDAs are typically less management of housing focused. So HRAs typically manage low-income or senior housing complexes. For example, Ely has several low-income and senior housing complexes that the HRA manages. They also have an EDA, which doesn't manage any housing, but they're deeply involved in the economic development of the area. They have some HRA powers that their EDA does. So it's however the council would like the system set up going forward.
Just my personal impressions and visions of this community are that we have a lot of deteriorated, blighted properties that need to be jazzed up, for lack of a better term, to make them more palatable. I think Councilor Joss probably sees it from the real estate side. And when I was reading through those powers on the HRA, it struck me that there were certainly the federal programs you were talking about, the ability to do sort of multi-unit housing programs, or maybe there are certain types of loan programs under the federal programs they could get that relate to housing. But otherwise, you have some powers uniquely to go after housing. And I'm picturing with PolyMet, I still believe in this project. I still think it's coming. And I hope we're attracting the families that are associated with PolyMet when it ramps up to full production. And I'm thinking, much as we get involved in economic development of, say, businesses, that it's almost the cart before the horse in terms of, I would see we'd want to structure the city government in a way that maximizes our ability to attack our housing issues. I know the HRA was getting ready to contract for a housing study. Again, just the impressions I've heard are that young families like to come into houses that they don't have to totally redo. That in some way have been done. Councilor Joss, what's your impression?
So I guess I'm confused as to what you're asking. So you're saying there's houses in the area in your mind that are not quite palatable, and the housing HRA can go in and help them make them more palatable? I guess my question is, you got to be very careful, because the difference between palatable to you and somebody else that's living in that, we got to be very careful with that. No, I mean, we don't have any foreclosures or anything like that, not too many that I'm aware of, where the HRA could pick those up. But I mean, we got to be on how we. That's the way I'm understanding.
Housing stock, the age of it, and everything, in terms of there are house flippers, right? Who go in and they renovate kitchens primarily, do maybe some wood floors, things like that, that are more typical of some of the tastes of younger families now, or say 50, 60 years ago. That's what I'm kind of thinking of. And I get the impression the HRA has some ability to incentivize renovation projects like that as part of the housing stock. I don't know. But when I read through the list of powers, it was just so incredibly extensive. So,
I'm still confused what you're asking, Doug. I'm sorry. I apologize when you say, okay, we can go in and we can renovate flipping houses, doing floorings, etc.? Are we doing properties that belong to people that are selling? Are we doing properties that belong to people that are currently living there? How are we bringing more housing into the area?
Well, I'm thinking whether it comes from new parties coming in or incentivizing people that are currently occupants, it's improving the housing stock, of the city. And again, I'm trying to think, and I think the HRA was on the brink of trying to do a housing study to see what might be the types of housing that PolyMed employees, knowing their age groups and their economic status and things, would be looking for that could be made available in the community. So I'm just saying, it's just one area or one example, but I'm seeing, as I look at the bigger picture, I'm thinking our housing options seem to be a paramount consideration in positioning, along with broadband and with the good educational system, having sufficient and adequate housing to meet the needs of what I would think would be the first big influx of potential new residents in some years in the city. And I don't know the answer to these things. I'm just saying that when I think ahead, I think more of housing issues than I think of business development issues, because I think businesses, we will get a number of opportunities to spin off businesses from PolyMed too. And hopefully we can work on those. I just don't know that the HRA's powers are irrelevant in this situation. Like Becky was saying, that economic development authorities tend to be more business oriented in their activities, and EDAs or housing redevelopment authorities tend to be more living space oriented. So just general impressions, but I'm just throwing those out as background sort of things. I'm not talking.
Oh, no, that's fine. I just wanted to get clarification. That's all.
Yeah, well, I respect that you're out there, in the market, and I don't know what the realtors are doing to anticipate an influx of all of a sudden, say within an 18-month period, a large pool of people looking for housing that is attractive to families in their. I don't know. We could get the demographics from PolyMed of what they're anticipating for workers, but it's going to be a different game than we've had. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So,
but I mean, but HRA can't. I guess I'm still, so the EDA, they do the less management of housing, but correct me, Becky, can they also do housing management as well if we did an EDA?
The city council can delegate the HRA's powers to whatever organization they see fit.
Okay.
That's my understanding of the statute. Mr. Carney might have additional information for that.
I thought tonight's meeting would focus more on what I thought was resolved in 1995 when the council and mayor had a dispute over independence of the HRA. That's when I thought the separation was made. And then learned logistically that there was kind of a separation, but not a total separation between the city of Aurora and the HRA. And so that's what kind of the resolutions addressed, that, well, there was a separation, but not a total separation. And then I thought the bigger picture was what you're discussing now. Do we need the HRA versus the EDA? I think we don't want to do a knee-jerk reaction on that until, it's looked at further and going. The reason it came by in 1995 is that the HRA purchased the Iron Gate apartments and turned it into public housing. And so then they were kind of in the housing business, rents were being collected. And so it was kind of under the city umbrella, and the HRA didn't like that. So that's what caused the 1995 resolution. And
okay.
Speaking with Becky, no, they kind of got separated, but the city of Aurora was still very involved in the HRA providing work. I think they paid the former clerk to, do their minutes and things like that. So there wasn't a total separation to my understanding, and that's what prompted the new resolutions.
Okay.
Becky or other council members, if they have other questions.
I do have a question for you, Mr. Carney. So in our meeting at the HRA, it was brought up, they wanted to know, can the city join the HRA? Something was stated that they asked the question, were we started by a statute? Why would that matter? Is that?
The HRA has indicated the 1995 resolution was established by the Aurora Council for the express purpose of revitalizing the central business district and to oversee federal housing projects. And then it was further established, if you read that resolution, it's a flexible entity that 1978, then they, again, with the central business revitalization, they got tax increment financing and gave the responsibility for the implementation and management to the HRA. So they were handling that. And then it went on to 1980s, the economic development districts were established and provided the HRA oversight for that entity. So, and then we moved into 1995 where the Iron Gate was purchased and, led to, hey, let's separate these out and they're separate legal entities. And then it was control of who was in charge and following the law.
Okay, so it was basically separated that way. That resolution was done that way because at that time HRA was actually bringing in money, correct? And they were handling.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
But they were still using the city of Aurora, kind of doing the work. And, they didn't want to have to come to the city council and say, we need this, we want to do this. And so that's when the funds were separated out. They had their own bank account and their own funds. They didn't need to come to the Aurora City Council. It was their own HRA board handling that aspect.
Okay.
Councilor Locke, any thoughts?
No, not really. It's kind of a complicated deal there. It's I'd be in favor of sitting down with the HRA and discussing those resolutions further.
Well, I add to that just by having worked on the development agreement, and I know Gene can echo this. A lot of our attention and energies at a very limited board are trying to, we're in the midst of trying to do a major development project that hopefully will be on its way within, a few weeks maybe. Yeah.
But we'll, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Laxo.
They got their plate kind of full with this development agreement, and I hate to change anything going on with that.
But really, it doesn't sound like it's going to be, I don't know, it doesn't sound like too much is going to change, to be quite truthful.
That's where I'm with you, Norma Jean. I thought we were here to clarify just how, the two resolutions are fairly clear, and neither one of them are talking about doing away with the HRA.
No.
So we're still going to have an HRA, and it's just the clarification on how it's gone back and forth, and I'm glad to see something come up to clarify how is the city and the HRA intertwined, so. But if it would help, I would gladly, if we could have I would love to have a sit down.
Oh, you're muted, Dave.
Yeah, I forgot. I just hit that button because I was going to shut up, but I'd rather do a meeting in person, but I guess we can't do that yet, but 'Cause I don't get as much out of these Zoom meetings by looking at people's heads, but, so,
I mean, we've been doing it this way since 1995 now. I think we can at least wait till this development agreement works out, or if it doesn't, and then go ahead with the resolutions.
Well, I would think too that the COVID crisis hopefully will be someday permitting us to have face-to-face meetings, right? I am kind of intrigued both between the two resolutions, but also how would this possibly fit into an EDA? And I just echoing what kind of brought up by Councilors Loxa and Warshak, it seems to me that what's missing here is kind of a considered exchange and discussion between the HRA that knows what it's doing, the city that knows what it's doing, and we're going to be working with the city attorney, getting a better understanding of should the EDA just be, moved into an EDA instead of the HRA. It's a really big move for the city. Yes. So, well, I know Norma Jean, if she hears the word table, kind of the heads up on the end.
Yeah, I'm not. I guess my question is, can we ask the administrator how? I mean, what's the how is this going to work for you if we? I mean, between the two resolutions, what's the for you anyway?
For my job position in particular, okay, let me get to them here. So the difference between the two resolutions, the first one, where the HRA is considered a board, basically comes back closer to the city, or actually it pretty much stays the same. The HRA, everything will basically stay the same. The city will still do the treasuring for the HRA. Copies will still be made here. They can still use City Hall. They can still store things here at City Hall. They can still utilize staff as they have been in the past. The city attorney and I will discuss the federal tax ID, because that makes it kind of hard for accounting. But if they have to maintain their own federal tax ID, they'd be welcome to do so. The second resolution in the packet, where there is that separation as indicated in the 1995 resolution, would take quite a bit off of the city's plate and allow us to focus on other things. There's never enough hours in the day for us. So the public works wouldn't have the buildings to maintain or plow anymore. Me personally, we wouldn't have that treasurer duties to do. There'd be additional storage available to the city. We wouldn't be paying the HRA's insurance fees anymore. There's tons of little things that we're asked to do throughout the day that always, it seems like a simple request, but it takes quite a bit out of every single person's day to do those things.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So I guess in my mind, we're not really changing anything. We're just putting it on paper. Am I correct in saying that?
With the first one, yes.
Yes.
If the first resolution was adopted, by impression is the HRA becomes like another department of the city.
Well, isn't it already, aren't we already operating as that?
No, because like, for instance, the properties are all owned independently by the HRA. I can't imagine any department owning its own property, right? It's the city's property or it's the HRA's property. It seems to me that's a pretty big...
It is, Doug, but then the city's still paying, like, how much do we pay every year to take care of some of that property or whatever, so...
Well, the HRA has money. Why don't we just make them pay?
Well, so then that would be resolution, resolution, whatever, So yeah. So,
and we got to be careful. I'm just going to tell you right now, we got to be careful. We're only got one income producing property. Just telling you.
The generous use of the term income.
Yeah, it's not very highly income producing, but we only have one income producing property. So be careful what you say, Doug.
Well, yeah, just thinking, first of all, there is a fair amount of money the HRA has, and for Pete's sakes, given all the numerous powers, you got to think somehow the HRA could hone in on doing some improvement in the city that generates. I don't know.
Okay, so real quick, Becky, how much does the city pay for the HRA bills a year? I'm sorry to throw that on you. I apologize. If you don't have it, I understand.
The city doesn't pay any HRA bills like gas and electric, that kind of thing.
What does it cost is what I'm...
Oh, okay. It costs the city approximately $27,000 for the HRA a year.
And that's for your people's time and everything, Becky. It's not necessarily cash out or whatever.
Right, correct. So they are, some of them are expenses the city would be paying for anyway. However, if, Public Works or myself didn't have the HRA on our plate, then we could focus on city business.
And is the Public Works Department taking care of those businesses, maintaining them, fixing them, plowing them, and all those sort of tasks?
Yes.
Well, time is money. We're paying those employees, so that isn't just a fictitious or pretend number.
No,
it's real money, Dave, is what I'm trying to get at.
If I'm not mistaken, and if we in fact concentrate our efforts on this development agreement, the maintenance would probably resolve down to plowing of the lots behind Megan's and Rudy's, right? Isn't that maintenance? They're all that's left?
That would be maintenance, yes, but you'd still have all the treasurer duties and all the other staff times.
Right, yeah. So as far as the expenses they have currently related to a building and to maintenance of it and some of the other nightmares are hopefully going to be transformed into a nice addition to the community. I don't know, it just seems like the HRA is in flux right at the moment. And again, like I said earlier, I wouldn't think changing horses in midstream is probably the best thing to do, although maybe at some point.
What do you think, Mr. Carney? You're the one that drafted these resolutions, or these two resolutions.
I made them. My opinion doesn't matter except the legality of it, but I hate to say table, but this I think requires more input and more discussion myself. It's been going on since 1995. I know it falls on City Administrator Lammy and staff, but I'd rather get through the development agreement and get that done. And once that's put to rest, either positive or negative, then we come back and address this matter. But I think I didn't know myself. I thought it was separated out in 1995 when we did it then. But the actual internal housekeeping kind of overlapped, which I didn't even know until just recently.
I would be against tabling it. I think that, it's sat since this long and it's been unresolved this entire time. And we tabled it last week and now we're going to table it again. It just seems like it seems as if we're tabling so that we don't have to make a decision. That's how I'm feeling
How
about
about tabling it to a date certain? One of our big problems is the point Norma Jean was pointing out was some things get tabled and they never go. Like we have 2 meetings, for instance, in August. Why not schedule it for our plant meeting in August? One way or another, I have a feeling the development agreement and the development project is either going to be off and running or not in a live sort of issue by that time. But it could take a few more weeks to do that. Would it be any more palatable to table it to a date certain?
The only way I'd be willing to table it is if we stated that the HRA would not expend any more staff time or public works time unless we're paid for that, until we determine this decision.
Well, at least they wouldn't have to spend a lot for snow removal in the interval.
Well, there is that. I would help them remove the snow if it came right now.
Well, I don't know if that would be characterized as a motion, but all right, what I'm sensing would be a motion that consistent with that would be to table it to the second meeting in August, subject to the requirement that the HRA take responsibility for, in the interim, paying all the expenses that were prepared by the city administrator as expenses the city's taking on right now, right?
Well, I'm not making a motion. I do not want to table it. But the only way I would go with that motion, and I will not make it, is if the HRA agrees not to burden our city, be it with staff or public works time, to do HRA work.
Well, I'm making a motion with that, with that proviso that they have to pay the costs in the interim until it's decided otherwise. So it's a kind of a hybrid of what, the second resolution? The difference being that we're going to revisit it.
Why would we need to wait till August? Is there a timeline in July that we know of based on this business development meeting?
No, I'm just, the city attorney can chime in, but development agreements, you go through, you develop your drafts, you get going. There are things related to the timing, for instance, of giving notice to the tenants, doing your title examination, doing the conveyance of that. I just feel it would probably cut well into July, and I tend to think then, doing this at our main business meeting of the month, I like better looking at the second meeting as kind of a planning meeting. I don't know. That's the only reason there. But I could easily see this development agreement process before we actually have a conveyance of title to the property going into July. That's the logic I'm saying. Well, Councilor Honkala doesn't want to make the motion. I'd make a motion that we table the further discussion of the two resolutions in front of the body to the second meeting, council meeting in August, with the added condition that in the interim, the HRA pay any and all expenses that are associated with its operations.
I'll support that motion.
Is there further discussion?
Just that I know there's some HRA folks on there, and I don't think Talisha meant it negatively, but I don't consider the HRA a burden. They've done a lot of good things, and I hope they continue to do a lot of good things, and I'm always hoping the city and the HRA will have a good working relationship. So.
Mm-hmm. No, and I did not mean it in a negative way. I feel like at some point as a council, we need to make decisions, and sometimes I feel like we delay them in hopes that they'll almost go away, or we will never have to make a decision on the matter. And so,
we know this one's not going.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dave. Thank you. But I do appreciate all the hard work of all of our community. These are unpaid people, and they're just working to better our community. It is not meant in a negative manner at all.
Yeah. I know at least one member of the HRA that questioned that he didn't know he got into what he got into when the work of it laid down. Well, is there further discussion on the motion? It's been moved and supported. Administrator, would you call a vote?
Geiger?
Yes.
Loxo,
Yes.
Punkala,
Yes.
Jofs,
Yes.
Rorschach,
Yes.
Well, the motion.
Can I add something that I don't know if now's another time to make a motion? So that second working meeting that we do that August, I say that we all sit at a table and we start looking at everything that we have tabled since I have been here at least, and Lord have mercy if we have to go back further. So I mean,
Well, when you get your report,
I read this pile of stuff. So
when you get your report, then I would only hope that maybe the HR issue could be the first item on the agenda before we get to the other 2 or 3. So, all right, we're back to the agenda, which, all right. On 17.3, let's see, wait.
we could do one.
After 17.1, the resolution approving the wastewater treatment facility plan that we had as a subject of our previous public hearing. Is there a motion to approve that plan?
Can you repeat that, Doug? I'm sorry. I had my thing cut out.
The motion would be to approve the resolution approving the wastewater treatment facility plan that was the subject of our public hearing that preceded this meeting.
I will make that motion.
I'll support.
Moved and supported. Any further? Brian, you're on the screen there. Is there anything that about the motion that would have to be modified in light of the public hearing?
No, the past resolution I'll need signatures on, and I also need meeting minutes from the public hearing, and that gets submitted to MPCA, and that'll push forward their approval of the plan and getting you guys on the funding list. So,
okay, is there further discussion on the motion on the table?
And that was to go with option 2?
yes, the recommended is option 2. Yes.
Okay.
Further discussion? If not, City Administrator, could you call a roll?
Gregor,
Yes.
Loxo,
Yes.
Punkala,
Yes.
Jofs,
Yes.
Rorschach,
Motion passes. Moving on to agenda item 17.3, St. Louis County tax forfeit properties. Materials are in the packet. City Administrator, could you explain? We talked about it briefly this afternoon. Apparently this issue has some history, right?
correct. So previously, lots between Highway 135, I guess it's County Highway there, and Public Works Garage by Family Dollar have been up for tax forfeit. In the past, the City Council has expressed interest in purchasing those lots to maintain the beautiful trees that are on them. These properties have come back up for tax forfeit, so I requested the county pull them off of the land sale for the council's consideration for purchase. So the county, if you would request them for free, you would have to have a big, long parks plan implementation in place. However, you can purchase them from the county. The most expensive it would be about between $25,000 and $30,000 for all of the lots listed.
And it could be less?
Yes, it would depend on the use of the properties.
So what was that? We could get them for free. How free? I hate that word. That's another word I hate. Free, because nothing's free. But how could we get them for a lesser amount?
You would have to have very specific plans in place. The best course of action seems to be purchasing them for the cost.
Okay. So when you have a plan in action, they want to know what kind of park you're going to put on it or what you're going to. So again, it's
Yeah, you have to have a layout of it. You have to have very specific requirements for those types of parks.
But how quickly would the county feel that it had to be paid?
The county will keep them off of the auction book for 6 months while the council deliberates. No more than 6 months, they'll keep it off.
Oh, so do we have to make a decision? I mean, if we made a decision tonight to purchase them, we wouldn't have to pay for at least 6 months then, right?
If you directed me to not submit the purchase request until month 5.
Oh, okay. Well, this is going to be an uncertain financial year. Certainly thinking that there's some encouraging prospects of revenues coming in, but yeah.
City administrator, does the county sometimes enter into contracts for purchase? Or
I don't know if they do with cities or not. They do with private owners.
Yeah, I think on private you can pay like 10% down, right, and finance the rest or something. So.
where would this money come from, Beck? Where would this kind of money come from? That if we were to purchase it?
You did not budget it for this year, so you would have to take it out of reserve.
So that leads back to my budget discussion. I guess we're not in a big rush to do this, so I would really, hopefully we could set up a budget discussion and see how it may or may not work in. You know, right now we're telling our folks to watch how they spend money, and we should be doing the same thing.
So is there a time at which the county has to have a take it or leave it decision?
It's 6 months from the date of submission on that form that's included in your packet. So we could either leave it on old business or we could table it to another meeting.
Well, I'm fully supportive of Councilor Warshak's interest in taking kind of a mid-year checking our pulse. See,
Absolutely.
now that we know that I think 90% of the real property taxes were paid on time, the first half anyway, and by that time the legislature may know more about our CARES money, what we're having, and we may have a signed labor agreement too, right? At least we're going into negotiations again. So.
could the city administrator be directed to send a letter that the city is interested in the properties and, be addressing it at their budget meeting in July, just so the county has an inkling that the city is interested in it?
Yep, I've already submitted that document to the county.
And just remember that if you look around, the Texas outfit has been clear cutting pretty much everything that they purchased from U.S. Steel. And when property comes up one time and then goes away, you can't say, geez, I wish I wanted that property, but everybody understands it's the economic aspect. If that old growth was clear cut, you can just imagine how it would be looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
That would be a shame. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, is I know what it would look like from if I were a developer or I was somebody who would, I look at that timber and I say, that is nice lumber that a person could use. I mean, the trees are perfect. But then from the standpoint of I have to drive into the city every day, would I want to look at the city garage? I mean, it would just take away from the beauty of our city driving into it. So it is definitely a double-edged sword. So.
Well, if we've notified the county that we're interested, which the administrator indicated we have already done, and if we're going to the budget meeting, it sounds like a number of us highly prized trying to find money to buy it, right? Buy the properties rather than subject them to the timberman's axe. I hate to use the word table, but I don't know any other word than that we table it for, well, let's see, we can't go longer than 6 months, right? So we'd have to make a decision to buy it, say 5 months?
Well, we have 6, right? We do have that 6.
But
We have to decide by December whether we're going to buy it or not.
The letter's dated May 11th, so I don't know if it's 6 months from the letter.
From May 11th. Okay. So we do have till November then.
So you'd probably want to consider it in October.
All right.
Okay.
I think,
Or sooner.
And we'll be having some budget meetings well before then, so.
Yeah, after we talk budget, after this special meeting that Councilor Warshak suggested about discussing budgets.
well, that dovetails nicely into the reports that the city administrator is being able to generate for us. So we could probably get a picture of our financial status either as of the end of May or the end of June, right?
We're currently going through audits, so we haven't had a month closure in a while. So we are prepping that. I will get the months closed so we can get a better picture before that budget meeting.
Okay, so when would you envision we might be able to have the budget meeting? In July then?
So usually how the staff side of things work for budget, at the end of June, we work really, really hard to get June closed as soon as possible. And then in July, the numbers for the first 6 months of the year go out to the department heads, and they fill out their requests for the upcoming year based on the 6 months prior as just a rough estimate with predictions of what's coming up in the future. So the budgets will be coming out to the staff to review for the upcoming year in July, due to the council by August for the council to start working on the budget process with those department heads' requests. The city council could take consideration of the first 6 months of the year, probably mid-July or end of July.
Okay.
Well, that sounds the appropriate time to take our poll, see where we are. By that time, we may even know something about the COVID.
Let's put it on the agenda for end of July.
Right, but this again would probably be a mid-July meeting, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right, and schedule that as a budgeting meeting. All right, so I'd entertain a motion, I guess, to table this at the time, to have it revisited at the time of the, well, let's say after the July budget, right? Hearing, right? We know we have to do it by November 14th, right? Wasn't that it? Yeah. Does anyone else have a motion or?
Well, did you just make the motion, Doug?
Make a motion
For a second July, because I'll support that or I'll make the motion to put it on to table it until our second meeting in July.
All right, and I'll support it. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, Administrator, could you call the roll?
Gregor?
Yes.
Loxo?
Yes.
Conkola? You're on mute.
Yes.
Ilfs?
Yes.
Warshak?
Aye.
Motion carries. Let's move on to agenda item 17.4, the East Mesabi Sanitation request to sign contracts with responsible buyer. The city administrators, exactly what action are they asking us to take?
They would just like your general consent to attribute the remainder of their contract to a responsible buyer.
Is there a motion to approve that, conveying that consent? Yeah.
So moved.
Moved, support?
I'll support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion?
And I'm assuming, Becky, you would write these folks, I don't know, it'd be Al or the buying group, a letter basically saying that, yeah, we did support.
Yep. Al had actually called me in regard to it, so I'll probably call him back.
Okay.
All right. We have the motion on the table. City Administrator, could you call the roll?
Gregor?
Yes.
Loxo?
Yes.
Konkala?
Yes.
Jofs?
Yes.
Borshak?
Hey,
Motion carries. Let's move on to item 17.5, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommendation to change residential improvement fees, zoning fees, and variance fees as outlined in the materials in the agenda. Is there a motion to approve changing those fees as requested?
I'll make a motion.
It's moved. Is there support?
Support.
Moved and supported. Further discussion?
Becky, would I have to abstain being the chairman?
No, you can go ahead and vote.
Okay.
As the chairman, any other comments to make on the changes?
No, Karen and Becky and the office ladies did a great job contacting all the other cities to see what they charge for variances and residential improvement permits. And a lot of the comments were really good on there. Like, a lot of cities don't charge for a residential improvement permit because they encourage people to spruce up their properties and stuff. But we still recommend to get the permit, just not charging for like a residential improvement fee. You know, the variance fees will go up. A lot of cities don't issue variances, but there is a cost to the city. I believe when somebody applies for a variance and you have to have a public hearing, letters have to go out to all the residents within, I think it's 350 feet of that property. And sometimes a lot of times we've been going way over that $50 variance fee. So that was the reason for the increase on that.
Okay, well, it sounds like the Planning and Zoning Commission and City Administration did a good deal of homework. I think we have a motion on the table. Any further discussion? Seeing none, City Administrator, please read the roll.
Gregor?
Yes.
Loxo?
Yes.
Konkala?
Yes.
Jofs?
Yes.
Borshak?
yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to agenda item 17.6, update to the committee and board policies. City Administrator, do you want to just explain the changes?
Sure. So several people have reached out to me regarding openings on boards and commissions and how they would know about them. So I added a line in that board and committee policy stating that towards the end of each year, we would advertise in the shopper, on the website, on Facebook, just kind of depending. We would advertise any terms of any commissioners or board members that term was ending. So everyone would know that there's this many seats open. So if you want to apply, then it gives the council more applicants to look through. I mean, there's not a ton of people clamoring down our doors to join our committees and boards, but I think that will give everyone a fair opportunity to see what's out there and what's available.
Get it into their New Year's resolutions. Very good. Is there a motion to, approve that amendment to the committee and board policy sheet?
So moved.
I'll support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those, City Administrator, could you read the roll?
Gregor?
Yes.
Loxo?
Yes.
Konkala?
Yes.
Jofs?
Aye.
Borshak?
Yes.
I believe the
Norma Jean.
we may have
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
policy of how one actually votes on a motion yet. So, okay. Moving on to 17.7, Planning and Zoning Commission recommendation for vacancy. It's in your board packet. The recommendation is for Tyler Leto to fill the vacancy on the planning commission. Is there a motion to approve that appointment?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Worded. Further discussion? Hearing none. City Administrator, would you read the roll?
Gregor?
Yes.
Roxo?
Yes.
Ankala?
Yes.
Jofs?
Yes.
Warshak?
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to 17.8, resolution authorizing the conveyance of real estate to the Mesabi East School District, part of the land transfer that's been in front of us a few times. I'll make a motion to approve the conveyance of the real estate. Is there support?
Can we discuss real quick? I just want to make sure. Do we discuss before we vote?
Yes.
We can.
Perfect time for discussion, yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure. So when we convey this real estate, the people, so it's, I just want to make sure I'm understanding this correct, that it's Bradish that has this, correct? Bradish Lumber? They are signing off on it as well, correct? Am I looking at the right one?
City Attorney?
I think this is one of the items we tabled before, Norma Jean. I think
Yeah.
you're correct, because we wanted to make sure that Bradish's would sign off on it also.
I just don't want, like, 60 years down the road, they say, yeah, well, nobody signed off on it. I just want to make sure that they sign off on this as well.
This is the final thing with the school district that's been the legal and who owned it or not owned it. Mike Patchen was working on it, and he's finalized it, and they wanted it to go to the school, and then the school and Bradish were going to do whatever they're doing, but the city of Aurora is conveying it to the school district, and the city of Aurora's part will be done upon this passage.
All right, well, if the attorney's comfortable with it, I understand the point that Councilor Goss is making, and it was a concern of the council. So I guess we're charging the city attorney's office to make sure there's some documentation that the Bradishes are consenting to this. They could do that, they could give the consent to the school district, right?
Yes, the city of Aurora is, this is the final piece to dealing with the land and conveyance, and we had to redo it because it came back that the Railroad Avenue West was also known as 3rd Street West. There was a rejection, and we got that cleaned up, and this is how they wanted it done, and that's what we're doing. The resolution passed, and the city of Aurora is done with it.
So who wanted it? This is who wanted it done?
Bradish. They're dealing with the school district.
Okay, so technically this is not, so this, we wouldn't have to have the Bradish family sign off on this, correct? I'm just like, in my mind, I'm sorry.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further discussion? I think it's been moved and supported.
Yep.
Administrator, could you read the roll call vote?
Gregor?
Yes.
Roxo?
Yes.
Ankala?
Yes.
Jofs?
Yes.
Warshak?
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to item 17.9, liquor licenses for July 1st of this year through June 30th of next year. These would be the approvals of the actual issuances of the licenses, right? And our separate action we took earlier in the meeting, the payment of the fees essentially is separately waived, right? So all we have to do is approve the issuance of the licenses, city administrator.
And what we will do for the fees is we will issue checks, so those will not go out until the July meeting.
Okay.
That's, contingent that they provide proof that property taxes are paid and have liquor liability insurance.
Yep, and actually that is all in with the liquor licensing, the number 9 here, so.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, they have to satisfy the preconditions to get this far for us to approve it, right?
Correct.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve? I think we could do it all at once. The approval of the licenses, is there any requirement in the law that we have to do it individually?
I don't believe so.
You can do a blanket motion.
All right, a blanket motion I'd entertain to approve the issuance of licenses as indicated in item 17.9 to the designated establishments.
I'll make a motion.
It's moved. Support?
Support.
Okay, we'll let the secretary figure out who supported there. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, city administrator, could you call the roll?
Greiger?
Yes.
Loxo?
Yes.
Punkala?
Yes.
Jolfs?
Yes.
Rorschach?
Aye.
Motion carries. 17.10. Let's see. Oh, this was part of the subject, I think, already of the public hearing. But as long as we have Brian on the line still, Brian, you just want to explain what the request here, the payment would be for?
Yes, so this is the first pay request from Lakehead Construction for the repairs on the digester. So that's included in your packet, and really the major work so far has been mobilization to the site. They've done some of the removal works of the concrete and masonry on the digester, and then they've started to look at repairs on the steel cover. And so that's most of the cost on this pay request. In terms of also a project update, they have encountered a little bit more damage on the cover as they've started to remove some of the damaged pieces. And so we're working with the League of Minnesota Cities on the insurance claim for these other damages that are found. At this time, I don't think it will impact schedule. There will be some more materials needed to fix the cover. I'm hopeful that we can expedite those and not affect the schedule. And then Administrator Lammy and I will be working with the League of Minnesota Cities through the insurance piece of that. And so that's kind of where they are on site. Additionally, city staff is removing biosolids from the one tank, and that is just about complete, so work can start in the secondary digester. So in terms of the pay request, I would recommend payment to Lakehead, and then if there's any questions, I'd be able to answer any questions you guys may have.
And City Administrator, just to clarify, where will the funds for this come forth at this time, and then ultimately, how will they be paid through the other financing plan for the project? Yeah.
So there is a breakdown for insurance versus non-insurance costs in this $80,000 that was provided to us by Bolton and Menk. So the insurance portion of that will be paid by insurance. The non-insurance portion of that will be paid out of the city's reserves funds for the wastewater department. After that amount is paid out of reserves, once we receive, we can apply it towards the grant monies. We can apply it through bonding. It would just depend exactly what those expenses were.
And we can replenish the reserves.
Correct. Yeah, any reserves we take out while we're waiting for our other funding options to be implemented will be replenished with those other funding options once they're approved.
Okay. Very good. Is there a motion to approve the payment of the $80,978 to Lakehead Constructors?
So moved.
It's
I'll support.
You've been supported. Further discussion? Seeing none, Administrator, could you call the roll, please?
Greiger?
Yes.
Loxo?
Yes.
Ankala,
Yes.
Jofs,
Yes.
Warshak.
Aye.
Motion carries. I believe that concludes our agenda, unless the city administrator, did we miss anything that I'm sometimes prone to do?
Not to my knowledge.
Not to your knowledge. All right. Well, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
Move. Is there support?
I'll support.
That was a very tense moment there. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there further discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Gregor,
Yes.
Luxel,
Yes.
Ankala,
Yes.
Jofs,
Yes.
Warshak.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned. And we beat my prediction. I thought we'd go to 8 o'clock, so it's 7:36.
I'm glad that you're terrible at predicting, Doug.
It was a good meeting, a lot of discussion. So
Yes.
Yeah. Also, having issues to discuss. Yeah.
yeah.
But it's good to see the digester project finally moving ahead. That's quite remarkable, and been hanging over all of us for quite some time now. So, well, have a good evening. Stay safe.
You all have a good evening.
You too. Bye.